On this episode of the Sade Dennis Podcast, we sit down and talk with Keisha Staples, mother of Antoine Brooks Jr., who was recently drafted to the Pittsburgh Steelers. We talked about the ups and the downs of being a sports mom and what she and their family did to lead Antoine all the way to the NFL.
Guys, we're just going to hop right on in to this conversation. You guys saw the intro. I'm really excited today to have my friend and super mom, Keisha Staples. Keisha, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Sade.
Absolutely, on this special Mother's Day edition, while we're celebrating mothers, really not only for Mother's Day, but really all week long. And we cannot celebrate mothers enough, quite frankly. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I have just seen you be a phenomenal mother for years. And you just not only develop your children, but you developed yourself. And it is really radiated throughout the entire community. So I must say, but first of all, tell us who you are and, just give us a little background.
So to keep it simple, look, I'm Keisha, and I'm a mother of 4 children, 2 boys and 2 girls. Everybody knows me, of course, from my oldest son, Antoine Brooks, and he was just drafted to the Steelers. So you see me representing round 6, pick 198. Yes, I remember.
Absolutely.
So we're very excited about that.
So that's great. I mean, I remember everything from all the heartwarming stories of Antoine. First of all your children are into something, obviously the latest public celebrations that we've seen obviously have been about Antoine, but all your children are phenomenal. I know all the stories and things that you've shared with me about Antoine on the football field, even from him being little. Right. And just the ups and downs. I mean, everybody sees the ups, but the injuries, just the different people around you guys and stuff like that. It has not always been an easy journey. Kind of give us some background.
Well, to keep it simple again, kids playing sports is always, it's a two-way street. You have all of the accolades, the good stuff, the wins, and then you have the losses, you have the injuries. His injury his senior year was not his first injury. It was just the most devastating one.
Wow.
Him breaking his ankle and his wrist, the same game, same play, that was a big deal. But, he broke his ankle the year before in a championship game. And then he's had multiple injuries, concussions. He's had broken bones. He's had, contusions, bruises. There have been plenty of games where he's had to come home and ice up and, it's part of the game, though.
Yeah. So now, but what kept him going? I mean, I remember the one really sweet thing when he hurt himself in his senior year, because I know that he has a passion for like kids, and how he would just join some of the other children, some of which had special needs, and just kind of join them and loved on them while he was healing, and was and like they love him. But kind of give us some background on just how he got through that. I mean, and it seemed like he had so much joy. I mean, it seemed like the people around him were more upset, like the fans and friends and family, but he just had this positive spirit and was able to really still pour into other people.
Yeah. I always knew Antoine had a following, from like 10th grade, because you could kind of see in the stands that people were there to see him. But when he got injured, number one, I never thought that he would like be trending on Twitter, like just for getting injured.
Wow.
I never thought we would be on the news, I just didn't think people would be that concerned, or it would be that big of a deal. He's a big deal to me, but I'm his mother, I think that day I realized how important he was to a lot of people and not just to us. You know, we have a close-knit family on both sides.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody comes out and supports. You know, it's not hard to find between 40 and 60 of us at a game,
Right. Okay.
whether it was high school, college, you know, we would come out and represent. And then the thing with the kids, he just always had an attachment to kids. You know, he had a job his senior year at the elementary school at C.T. Reed, right next door to Duval. When he got injured, those kids wrote him letters. Like, it was the sweetest. I still have those letters
Oh,
that
wow.
they wrote him when he got injured.
Okay.
He was homeschooled for about 4 months.
Mm-hmm.
And then when he came back, he went, he started playing bocce ball
That's
with
right.
with the special needs kids at Duval. And he had a good time. And those kids had such a good time with him. Like, I
Oh
went
my
to a
gosh.
tournament one time and I was like, first of all, what are y'all playing?
Right.
But second, they were so into it.
Okay.
It was just like this is what's up. Like, this is what
Wow.
we're doing.
Right. And I just loved hearing about how committed and passionate he was to those children and bocce ball. And I
Mhm.
mean, and just I could see his little face smiling,
Uh-huh.
just happy to be there with them and really spend that quality time with them and playing, just in the game,
Yeah.
if you will. And it was just so heartwarming.
Yeah. And to him, it wasn't him playing with the special needs kids. He was
Hmm.
just like, oh, these my classmates. You know, like, they love
Right.
me. I'm gonna play with them.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. So it was like nothing. I
Yeah.
remember him getting a letter from one of his classmates when he was in the hospital. And the letter just touched me so, because the boy basically said that he remembered he used to sit at the lunch table by himself.
Hmm.
And Antoine used to come over there and always mess with him and tell him he need to come play football and stuff like that. And he just
Right.
said it really meant so much to him for Antoine to always try to include him with the team. And then he said when he got injured, he was so devastated. And this baby sent Antoine $10.
Oh my goodness. Are you
Like,
serious?
yes.
It's so
I was
sweet.
just like, that is like the sweetest thing ever.
Did
he,
he?
he sent him his hard-earned $10. Like, I was like, that is just the cutest thing. Like, okay.
Oh my gosh, that
It
is
was
so
so cute.
sweet.
It was so cute and sweet. And it just further made me realize how much him just being him
Hmm.
makes such a difference to people. And even in college, you know, I used to see how just him giving his gloves away meant
Hmm.
so much to these little kids. Just him taking a picture with them after the game meant so much. You know, he FaceTimed some of these kids,
Wow.
you know.
Hmm.
He talks to them after the games. He hugs them. You know, he genuinely gives them time, and he genuinely cares about these kids. So he's always had, a special type of connection. I don't really want to say with his fans,
Hmm.
but just with kids in general.
Yeah,
Yeah. So he's very sweet.
that's
Very
awesome.
sweet.
That's awesome. I remember, just tell us a little bit about you as a parent, and in particular a mom, how you were able to kind of support him and keep him, surrounded with support. Because like you mentioned, in the sports world, there's ups and there's downs, there's challenges, etc. And so how did you manage to, one, keep him safe and surrounded, but as well, like not keep him in bubble wrap, so to speak, because obviously, now he's free to move about the world. So how did you balance those things? In particular in the
Um,
sports, sports world, athlete world.
what I will say is this. I'm a very protective mother.
Hmm.
So, we've had a lot of conversations. We're very close. So, if he has an issue, I'll pretty much tell him how to handle it.
Mm-hmm.
And if that doesn't work for him, then, I'm like, let me know and I'll come handle it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's just it.
Yeah.
All of his coaches, every coach he has ever had knows that I don't play. So if he got an issue, I'm coming.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just how I support him. Now I got to kind of back off a little bit, Now he's getting a little older.
Okay.
But, I'm going to come see some Steelers people if they don't treat my baby right.
Oh, I know you will. I know you will. And you don't want the rest of them family members either. Okay? Because all y'all crazy. Good crazy. Loving crazy.
Right.
But crazy.
We're just protective.
Yes.
That's all. I don't want anybody to take advantage of my child.
Absolutely.
I can't keep calling him my baby. He getting a little sensitive about that. But
okay.
Absolutely.
But I understand because we've all watched him grow into such a just a great young man, and continuing to make our community here in the gorgeous Prince George's County, Maryland, and just really one of our hometown heroes, so to speak. And just we've watched him all these years. I think everybody who's been around him, but also the community at large, has been proud of him.
And don't get me wrong, he's able to handle himself, and make sure that he gets his point across as far as what he thinks and how he feels, especially when it comes to football, because that's the thing that he's most passionate about. Antoine will tell me quick, Ma, he don't know what he doing.
Okay.
I don't like this coach. I'm like, look, just talk to him. Yeah. Talk to him and let him know y'all have to come to an agreement. And that's what he does,
Mm-hmm. And I love the relationship he has with his younger siblings, in particular, his little sisters. Kind of tell us about that. How were you able to kind of forge that? I mean, this is this big old football player, and then these little girls, and I know they probably tried to push his nerves at times growing up, but he just, is such a loving big brother to all his siblings. But I just love to see the interaction with all of them.
Well, as far as his sisters go, first of all, Sky is an entity in her own.
Yes.
She's not interested in coming to games. She didn't even come to draft day. Like, she's like, Ma, I'm gonna be in the house. Okay. Like, I'll talk to him whenever. So she's not enamored. She's just like, okay, Antoine got drafted. Okay, great.
Absolutely.
Aaron, on the other hand, they call each other butt.
Okay.
She has to go to the games. She has to see her big brother play. He's very affectionate with her and her with him. But listen, they don't play when it comes to each other.
Really?
Yes. Like, they have a clique. Them two have a clique. Jalen and Sky have a clique. And
I'm done.
And Aaron and Antoine have a clique. It is so funny to see how they have clicked up with each other.
Really?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
It is so funny.
That's so cute.
So funny. But
That's
it's a typical brother sister, relationship. And then of course, Jalen lives with him. Yeah, he's been living with him for like the last year.
Okay. Now, how's that been?
They're brothers.
Okay.
So for the most part, it's cool. And you would think Antoine would be the protective one because he's the oldest, but Jalen is the protective one.
Really?
Oh yes, he don't play. He does not play, and he has low tolerance. So everybody gets his nerves.
Right. Wow. But I just think it's so awesome. I remember just kind of going back a little bit, how their dad would run back and forth and just be so into the game. And I just can't imagine how that has had to have an effect on not only Antoine and Jalen, but just everyone to see how committed you guys were. I mean, like literally just on the field with was a bullhorn? His own bullhorn. He would bring his own bullhorn.
Air horn.
Yeah. Like,
look, bless him, Lord. You know.
It's a serious business, okay?
Yeah. Listen, I was so happy we got to high school and college where he could not run on the sidelines anymore.
Really?
Yeah. Yes, now he has to have some type of self-control when it comes to these games.
What?
Don't think he's not on the rail.
What? So
he's
wait a minute.
On the rail.
So he transitioned from running back and forth. So now tell us about the transition. So how does he do it now?
So first of all, he never sits in his assigned seat. Yes, Big Antoine, I'm calling you out. He never sits in his assigned seat.
So where is he at? What?
Oh, he's all over the stands. You know, he's Mr. Social. So he got to talk to this person. He got to talk to that person. Then when Antoine looks in the stands looking for us, you know, he got to go talk to Antoine. He got to go down to the rail and talk to Antoine. You know, it's hilarious. It is absolutely hilarious.
So funny.
Sometimes I have to be like, sir, sit down. Will you sit down? Leave him alone.
Right. Wow. I mean, I guess he's busy too. You know what I mean? He has his things that he needs to do. So
I guess. I don't know what he's going to do when we get to the Steelers.
Right. I'm sure he'll find his way.
Stand at the rail, you know.
Okay.
And these Steelers fans are serious. So you're going to need to stay in your assigned seat.
Absolutely. But I'm sure he'll find a way to, carve out his niche.
I'm sure.
So now, how has that been, this whole transition? Because obviously from elementary to middle school, high school, college, which was a big deal in and of itself. And before I even ask this question, I remember years ago when he had the injury, and I just remember literally the up and down of it all with colleges. Shed a little bit of light on that experience and kind of what you all did to stay strong during that period of time when a lot of the so-called offers and things like that kind of dwindled down. How did you guys stay optimistic?
Well, so again, I'm very protective. Mm-hmm. So when the offers started to dwindle, he was really down to 2 offers, which was UMass and Buffalo. Okay. We will be forever grateful to those 2 teams for sticking it out with him and, keeping the offer on the table, even after his injury. Mm-hmm. At the end of the day, it was a business decision to make. When it comes to sports, you figure out early that it's a business. Where we think it's just a game, no, it is a business. The first time I went to a junior day, they have junior days where you can go to a school and you meet the coaches. They measure your kids up, literally, okay? I mean, I watched Antoine pretty much go down an assembly line of you're measuring his head, you're measuring his hands, you're measuring the width of his neck, you're measuring his height, his weight. He's stripping down to his underwear. Wow. So you can see, what you're getting out of an athlete. That day I realized that, oh, this is a whole business. Like, it's literally like almost like a cattle call. Yes.
Wow.
So when it came to the offers, he went from maybe like 18 or so offers down to the 2. And then, basically the way it went with Maryland is that, they got a new coaching staff. When they got the new coaching staff, of course, it was headed by, DJ Durkin. And Coach Azar was one of the coaches. He was the DB coach. Now, to give you a little background on him, Coach Azar used to coach for Friendship Collegiate in DC.
Okay.
He was looking at Antoine during his Peppermill days.
Which was like elementary or middle school? Middle school. Okay.
So we could have sent him to Friendship Collegiate in high school, but I didn't want him going to school in DC. I'm just going to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
So that's that. So when the new coach got hired at Maryland, and from my understanding, you know, they were going to different schools in PG County trying to recruit kids, and every school they went to, the coaches were like, forget my kid. You need to go check out Antoine Brooks.
Wow.
Yeah. So they thought that he was injured and was done. You know, like he wasn't coming back. Those coaches, and I have to be very thankful for these coaches in this county, because they really, you know, stuck their necks out for Antoine and really let Maryland know, like, you got to go check out Antoine Brooks.
It's amazing.
Like, I don't care what's going on, what kid you looking for. If you're looking for a kid in this county, you got to go check out Antoine Brooks. So that's what they did. You know, they ended up coming to Duval and talking to Coach Powell. And when Coach Powell called me, he was just like, you know, Maryland was up here looking at Antoine. I was like, really?
That's awesome. That's awesome.
And he was like, yeah, like, and it's
Mhm.
looking good. I said, okay, all right. I said, well, we'll see what happens. You know, I didn't want to get excited about it
Mhm.
because, you know, he had already been through so much disappointment.
Mhm.
So we ended up going to, you know, the visit. We did the official visit, which was the last weekend before signing day. You know, they did his x-rays, they talked to him. And just to tell you how small the world is, his doctor, his orthopedic surgeon was Dr. Bolton. Dr. Bolton was one of the best orthopedic surgeons on the East Coast.
Wow.
That's just how blessed we were when we got to PG and he had to have that surgery, you know, to repair his ankle.
Oh my goodness.
Yes. Then Dr. Bolton was actually friends with the Maryland doctor. So they were able to have conversations about how to move forward with Antoine's ankle, you know, the repair, the surgery that was going to be done, because he had 2 surgeries on his ankle. Yes, there was the first initial surgery to repair his ankle, and then there was another surgery to replace a screw that
Ooh.
was that went through his ankle. They replaced it with another
Oh my.
type of material so that he'll be able to flex. You know, the
Whoa.
doctor asked him, did he want to continue to play sports? And he was like, yes. So she was like, okay, we're going to have to replace that big screw. That, I mean, it was literally a screw that went the
Oh
length of his
my.
ankle.
So y'all, if I
Yeah.
pass out on this video, y'all gonna know why. Fast. I just fall out the screen. That's the reason why. Because just what
Yeah.
Keisha just said. Okay, but all right, let me stay straight. I'm not gonna fall over. All right, go ahead.
Listen. So for people to know, because people need to know this type of stuff.
Yeah.
For people to really know, people have no idea what he's been through. People have no idea that he has a plate in his leg right now. He has 8 screws in his leg right now. He has a plate in his wrist right now.
Mm.
And he has 5 screws in his wrist.
Wow.
And so, you know, yes, I'm protective.
Yeah, I don't blame you. That's your child. He's a grown man, but still, you know, yeah, absolutely.
Yes. So, like I said, we went to Maryland. We liked the coaching staff. Antoine had a good time, almost too good of a time.
Okay.
He enjoyed himself.
Okay.
We came home. We got with his coach. You know, his coach took him out to eat, talked to him, because Antoine wasn't totally convinced at first.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Antoine has this loyalty that is, out of this world. So he really wanted to kind of stick to the two teams that had been there for him. And I didn't blame him, but again, it was a business decision.
Yeah.
And we literally did our research.
Okay.
Like, your goal is to get to the next level, to get to the NFL. We literally went and found out how many NFL players came out of UMass, how many NFL players came out of Buffalo, how many came out of Maryland. The decision wasn't hard.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean,
And
because it's a
then,
relationship, it needs to
yeah,
be, there's some equity.
right. And
Yeah, look up.
Maryland is an amazing school. Education wise, it is an amazing school. Maryland alum is insane.
Mhm.
You know, their network is crazy. And then on top of that, he was close to home. I know my child.
Mhm.
He would have went crazy in Buffalo. And I probably would have went crazy trying to figure out how to get to Buffalo every time something
Absolutely.
happened.
Oh, I know you would have. You would have been right there.
Yes.
You the rest of
Trying
them,
to figure
you
it
the rest of
out.
them staple people
You
would have been
got
right
that
there.
riding shotgun.
Absolutely. Like,
Right.
what's the address? Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Right.
Are we riding together? Are we riding separately? What are we doing? But we're gonna
Right.
ride.
We going.
Absolutely. So then, just kind of, what was the transition like after college and into the NFL? Just take us to that day, in fact, or maybe the days up to the draft.
Okay, so, again, like I said, this is a business.
Mm-hmm.
So, um, it was really a process that started kind of his junior year. Agents started calling pretty early. Um, there was really it was a huge like weeding out process as far as, talking to agents and trying to figure out who was going to be the best fit for him.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I met some agents that I didn't like at all. I met some agents that I liked, but like you don't have enough experience or whatever it was. And then again, like I said, I'm a research person.
Mm-hmm.
So you can come and talk to me after a game, but I'm going to look you up and I'm going to find out who else you represent.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of business do you do? Have you ever had complaints? Like to me, you want a cut of my son's check.
I hear you.
So we're going to make sure that if you're getting a cut of my son's check, you're going to do your job and you're going to do it well.
Mm-hmm.
Um, One of the things that was very important to me, and I'm just going to say it because, I don't have any cut cards. It was very important to me for him to be with a Black man that had a certain type of presence,
Mm-hmm.
a certain type of attitude, a certain type of business mind. Because at the end of the day, football is not going to last forever.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to make sure that whoever Antoine was partnered with, he was going to be able to teach him. He was going to be able to nurture him. He was going to be able to mentor him and make sure that, at the end of the day, Antoine will be a businessman that I don't have to look after,
Absolutely.
you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we chose a very good agent. His name is Adisa Bakari with the Sports and Entertainment Group. Yes, I'm giving them a shout out because I love them. And, you know, he's been very forthcoming. He's been very honest. The whole process, how everything was going to go, he's basically led us the entire way. Um, and I'm going to tell you something. One of the reasons why Adisa got the job over other people is because Adisa listened.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a lot of agents were calling Antoine. Antoine didn't have time. He didn't have the energy. He don't have the business savvy for him to handle talking to agents and trying to figure out, who is the best person for me. So we had agreed his junior year, if anybody starts calling you, just send them to me. A lot of those agents never called me.
Mm.
So just the fact that you want to try to talk to the kid,
Right.
and yes, I'm saying the kid.
Mm-hmm.
You want to try to talk to the kid, but you have no interest in talking to the parent. Well, that X you off the list very fast.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, Adisa reached out to Antoine. Antoine let him know I'm focusing on my last year and my last season. Just go ahead and call my mother.
Love it.
Called me.
Mm-hmm.
He called me. We had a conversation. We ended up having a meeting. The meeting was very productive. I was very impressed. And I still kept the options open even after meeting with him. But it was really like a no comparison type thing. I talked to other people, met with other people, and it was just like, no.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then I'm big on feelings. I'm going to handle the business side of it as far as doing my research, seeing who they represent, seeing how they represent themselves out in the world. Because, I don't want nobody that's going to make my son look bad.
Yeah.
However, I'm also big on feelings. How do I feel when I'm around you? Is this somebody that my son is going to be comfortable with?
Mm-hmm.
Adisa didn't even meet Antoine until the season was completely over. I didn't even give him Antoine's number until I was comfortable with him being his agent. Yeah.
Wow.
It was serious.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. It makes sense because when you look at, like you mentioned, no one career will or can last a lifetime necessarily. I guess obviously it depends on what industry and that kind of thing. But I think when you think about, like you said, children, high school, college, and, obviously we know that after 18, you're an adult, but still, he's focused on his studies. He's focused on, his team. And that's an entity in and of itself, worrying about all of that. Of course, not to say that he's out of the process. He's will be brought in, like you said, mentored and nurtured, etc. But I think, looking at it from a holistic standpoint, that's important, and people to respect that.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, Adisa did respect it.
Mm-hmm.
And that in turn made me respect him a lot more.
Wow.
So like I said, as far as the process, school ended and within 2 weeks he was in Florida training. So, and he was gone, he was blessed enough to get the Senior Bowl invitation. And then of course we got the combine invite, to the NFL scouting combine. So, all of that was blessings. And then it turned out to be an extra blessing considering this whole coronavirus situation where pro days were canceled. He didn't get to do a pro day. So under normal circumstances, if you go to the combine, you don't have to do every exercise. You can choose to do certain exercises at home at your pro day, at your school's pro day. Well, that never happened. Even if you mess up at the combine and you want to improve on something, you usually get a chance to do that at pro day. That never happened.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so this whole recruiting process, there's usually a time where you can go meet with teams.
Mm-hmm.
You have in-person team interviews, and different things, in-person workouts. The scouting period draft, which never happened because of the coronavirus.
Wow. I can imagine. It's like almost everything that we know has been shaken and been altered in some way. with the pandemic. So I can imagine it as well had a toll and an impact on, what you guys experienced.
Right. And really, so yeah. So it's just been a process. It's been a whole, to be honest with you, I'm so happy that the draft is over. I'm happy that we know where we're going.
Mm-hmm.
You- Even though under normal circumstances, he will already be in Pittsburgh right now.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, due to the virus, he can't go anywhere until July.
Okay.
Right. So a lot of things are having to be altered due to the virus in order for stuff to continue. You know, as it is right now, the NFL season is going to, go on as normal
Mm-hmm.
as of now.
Okay.
So, with that being said, um, you know, from my understanding, things are being pushed back. So, it'll be interesting to see how this whole thing is going to play out, how the process is going to play out. What's going to be different,
Sure.
from normal times.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I don't know. I'm just kind of ready to, like I said, I'm glad the draft is over. I'm glad he knows where he's going.
Yeah.
He's very happy. He's very comfortable, with the staff, with everybody that he's talked to and met, look, via FaceTime.
Sure. Absolutely. I mean, I saw the Twitter where Coach Tomlin was calling Antoine. It was just such an amazing clip. And I can only
Mhm.
imagine just the relationship that they're going to forge, in these next few years.
Right. One thing I will say about Antoine is that he usually has a great relationship with his coaches.
Mm-hmm.
You know, um, whenever I meet a new coach, it's so funny because I'll tell them, I'm like, look, Antoine is spoiled. Okay. He's spoiled, but don't play with him.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can kind of joke, hee hee ha ha, but don't play with him. You know, be very straightforward with what you
Mm-hmm.
want from him, what type of player you want him to be, you know, and he's going to, I taught him a long time ago that you always have to speak up for yourself. And, if you feel like something isn't right, then you need to speak on it,
Sure.
and he definitely does. Um, so I'm like, but don't play with him, be stern with him, let him know, what it is that you expect from him. And, he's going to get, the thing about Antoine, he's going to give 110% every time he steps on that field. And it doesn't matter who they're playing. It doesn't matter how much they're losing.
Mm.
I've seen him, you know, I'm like, can we please get on a team that has, and I'm just going to say it, some real fans that, I don't want to be the only one yelling.
Yeah.
Have me looking crazy because I'm the
Right.
only one in the stands
Only
yelling.
fanatic. Right.
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 So, you know, like I said, I think it's just going to be a whole different experience for us. And I'm really looking forward to see, just how different it's going to be.
Absolutely. It's an exciting time. I mean, I just felt like, when draft day, just all the excitement in the neighborhood and just everybody that was watching, everybody that was there on the
Right.
street, in the house. And I just, really felt it, even just kind of watching it live when you had posted it. And so I'm really excited for you guys. I'm excited to get my jersey. My kids will look, they'll wear their jerseys, you know, you know the backstory, but we're all happy to not only support but act a fool
Mm-hmm.
with you guys. And so it's exciting. Can you leave us just a couple last words of encouragement to the mothers who may be, whether they're sports moms or not, just to kind of keep moving forward with their kids through the ups and the downs?
Um, what the main thing I'll say is this. Um, Trust me, I'm not a perfect mother by any means. I definitely don't know everything. But what I will say is that, especially for sports mothers, because I feel like it needs to be said, you know, um, when you allow your kids to go to these schools, you know, you meet these coaches, whatever relationship it is that you build with them, always know that that is your child. And regardless to what a coach tells you, what type of you know, I don't want to say hype because, you know, some coaches are genuine, but you know, a recruitment is a recruitment. And they're going to tell you exactly what they feel like you need to hear in order to get your kid to their school. And as a parent, it is our responsibility to make sure that we continue to communicate with our children, to make sure that whatever is supposed to be going on is what is actually going on. You know, I've heard too many stories of parents whose kids are going to the hospital and they have no clue that their kids even went to the hospital. To me, that's completely unacceptable. You know, Antoine didn't make a move without calling me.
Wow.
You know, there's no he's going to the emergency room and I don't know about it, college campus or not. You know, he's going to make sure he calls me. And I think that, you know, parents need to make sure that they really develop these relationships when their kids are in high school. So when they do go to college, it's not an issue for them to call them and let them know, like, hey, Antoine will call me if somebody stepped on his foot and his foot was bruised.
Yeah.
Because he knew that if I saw him limping and I didn't know what was happening, that was like, oh, what coach I need to talk to?
Mm-hmm.
And really, coaches need to know that you are that type of parent that's going to hold them accountable when you put your child in their hands. They need to know that. Because otherwise, I'm not saying they're going to do whatever they want to do, but things happen at these schools that parents have no clue what's happening until it's too late. So you got to make sure that you communicate with that's probably the most important thing, the best advice that I can give to any parent that has a kid going to college, period.
Okay. Absolutely. Wow.
Make sure you communicate with your kids and you have a good enough relationship that when anything happens, they're going to call you and let you know what's happening.
Wow. That's amazing. No, I think that's could be said of, like you mentioned, even outside of sports, whether it's chorus or music or what have you, you know, that we continue to stay engaged at all, you know, in all the phases of our child's career and life, their educational, you know, career, and even just everything about them. You know, we need to be engaged. And I think at a time now with technology and like you said, other people kind of coming in and telling you what they think you want to hear or need to hear to have you do what they want you to do, that which may or may not be in your best interest or your child's best interest, you know?
Right. And then, you know, just to keep it real, you know, there's sex on these campuses,
Okay.
there's drugs on these campuses,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and if you don't communicate with your kids in order to know what they're engaging in, then, you know, you could be in for a rude awakening and have no clue what's going on with your child.
Wow. That's so sad.
Mm-hmm.
And I wonder how many times that happens, but we don't hear about it.
Right. I'm sure it
Yeah.
happens a lot.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm sure it happens a lot. And, you know, I've been to plenty football meetings, you know, parent meetings, and I've stood up and said, you know, I don't know what kind of relationships y'all have with your kids, but my kid, that's not happening. He's not going to the hospital without letting me know what's going on. He's not getting injured without letting me know what's going on. Every game, we're there after the game. I'm taking him home. I know his back hurts. I know his neck hurts. I know his shoulder hurts. I know that he has this wrapped up, that wrapped up. What treatments he gonna end up having to get on that Sunday, and I follow up. Did you get this checked out? What did they X-ray that? Did you find out if this happened?
Right. Sure. Wow.
And you have to, because again, like I said, yes, they're young adults, but they don't understand the extent to, what an injury that they don't think is something serious can, affect them in the long run.
Absolutely. Long run, as in actual career and even post career.
Right.
So I mean, come on, we need all your parts to be functioning well.
Listen, at the end of the day, I need you to be walking straight, not bent over, not with a bend in your leg. I need you to be walking straight. I need all of your stuff to be functioning.
Yeah.
I need you to be able to grow old and still have your wits about you. So, you just have, you have to be, protective, but not over.
Absolutely. So how can people follow this journey? I know that Antoine is on social media, but how can people just kind of stay engaged to the whole process if they want to, obviously support him and kind of support all what you guys are doing?
Well,
I could put that also in the description as well too. So
yes, because Antoine's social media name is @Twando, and I don't know how many E's is on it.
Okay. I'll list it.
Look, I can't keep up. And then, mine, I'm new to Instagram. I'm new to Twitter. So don't ask me what my name is, because I don't.
I'll list that too. Look, I'll find it for you and I'll list it.
Right, because I have no idea what my information is.
Okay, listen, I understand. In this quarantine with these children. Okay.
Right. All I can tell you is I'm Keisha Staples on Facebook.
Okay, got you. All right, and I'll list that too.
Right. So I'm thinking about starting a vlog.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still kind of toying with the idea of doing this vlog for his rookie season.
Okay.
Apparently people think I'm hilarious,
Girl, I've been laughing for years. Okay. For years, I have been just.
And especially when it comes to, I guess, Antoine and sports, they think I'm really funny. So, I mean, we'll see.
Yeah, but it's heartwarming things. And, and I think that with everything that's going on around us, this is so unreal. It feels like I think people are looking for something that that's heartwarming. And that also they can learn something from. So I think it's great. You know me, I say do it.
Right. Right. I'm going to get it together because, first of all, what else do I have to do right now? And then, Antoine's funny too.
Oh, so, no. Yeah. He's hilarious. He's a mess.
Listen, Jalen is hilarious. Aaron is hilarious.
Right.
Sky just means antisocial. I'm going to work on her.
Okay. But I think between Aaron's dancing and her portions of it, because I know that she has a whole league of her own videos. I won't. I have seen her videos. She's very serious.
Yes.
With her
and
routines.
It's so funny because I think her and Antoine are interested in the entertainment industry at the end of the day. So, yeah, I think that's hilarious.
I think you should, just do them as often or as little as what feels right for right now and kind of see where it goes,
Yeah. I said maybe I'll just do, like a rookie season blog and kind of see, how it goes.
Okay. Well, listen, y'all heard it here first, right? We got the exclusive on that. Keisha, I want to thank you. I want to say Happy Mother's Day to you and your beautiful mother, and to all the mothers out here. who are watching either now or at some point, happy Mother's Day.
And happy Mother's Day
Grateful.
to you, Charmaine.
Thank you. I'm surprised you got to hear my kids upstairs. You know, probably so. I don't know. But we're going to roll through it during this quarantine. You know, they haven't attacked me. I haven't attacked them. So it's a good thing. It's positive. We're getting better at that. You know, we're moving forward. But again, Keisha, thank you so much. And guys, until next time, we shall see you on the flip side.
Have you subscribed? If not, what are you waiting for? For show ideas or to possibly be a featured guest, visit our website at www.thegumnetwork.com for more details.